Alright, then we're going to take a look at a game called That's Life. It's a game for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up. Gameplay time is around 30 minutes. So, what this game's about is trying to get all your pawns from the start line to the finish line. And how you do it is you roll this one dice. So this board is set up, I just set it up like this. I believe there's a beginner's way to set it up, but eventually you'll just randomly shuffle these and mix them, and you can make the board how you want in any kind of design as long as it goes, this is the start, and mark it in. You can even change these out if you want that to be the start and this to be the end or whatever. So you have these red tiles that are all negatives from -1 all the way to -10. There's -1. And then you have these green tiles from +1 to +8. You have your pawns, and depending on how many people are playing is how many of these you get. In a 3-player game, what I'm demonstrating here, you get 3. So anyway, you have these also these little things right here, these little wood chips, and these are called guards, and you place these guards on all these package tokens. So you also have these package pieces, and then you put a pawn, a guard on a 7, and you put it on the +8. So you got them on the +7, +8, and all the packages. So how you play this game is you roll this dice. So I'm gonna say I go first, and it's Red's turn, and he rolls a 5. So he has to move one of his guys 5. So he has no choice but to do this one. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it's Green's turn. 3. 1, 2, 3. The first turn's pretty boring because you have to move this one first time. So 3. 1, 2, 3. So now it's back to Red's turn. So now Red rolls, and I roll a 4. Well, how you get points in this game is once you've placed your pawn on one of these pieces, as soon as you leave it and you're the last person on that piece, you have to pick it up and take it, and that counts towards your score. So I've rolled a 4. So now I have an option of moving one of these 4 or moving this guy 4, and if I move him 4, I would have to pick this up since he's the last one there. So I choose to move this guy 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to put him on this one. So now it's Green's turn. So Green can get off this thing if he wants. So let's say Green does that. So instead of moving one of these, he's going to move his guy off of this red one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? Yeah. So since he moved and he wasn't the last one on this one, he doesn't have to pick it up, so he's sticking it to black. So he's picking up and moving to here. So that's his turn. So now it's Black's turn. So Black rolls a 5. So Black can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, move to this one, or he can move this one. So let's just say he moves this one, which he never would. But if he moved this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he would get this, and it'd go in front of him, and then the board would just shrink down a little bit. So he would get this one. And then play continues, and then you keep doing that, and you keep picking these up. Well, these little guards, what they do is, say if I'm in this situation, say this situation there, say these greens are over here or something. So say I roll, and I roll a 1. So say I roll a 1, and I'm green. So I have an option of moving this guy 1, and having to pick this -10 up, moving this guy 1, having to pick that -3 up, moving this guy 1, and having to pick this -7 one up. But you also have an option of moving one of these guards if there's another player on that tile with that guard. And it doesn't even have to be you, it could be anybody else. So if I rolled a 1 in this situation, I would choose to move this thing 1. Now I would stick this person with that, and I wouldn't have to pick up a red tile. Also, these things mark as something on that tile too. So say I rolled a 1 also, and I'm red, and I move 1 for red, I don't have to pick that up because there's something on it. There's a guard on it. So that's how these guards work. During your turn, you always want to look for these guards to see if somebody's on that space, because if somebody's on that space with their guard, you can move that guard off of it if you want. You can't move the player, but you can move this guy, even if it's not your guy on there with it. It could be anybody's guy, as long as he shares the tile. So you do this until everybody gets to here, and then you add up your points. And how you do that is you add up your greens, and then you subtract your reds. But then you also have these packages. And what these packages do is count your highest negative as a positive. So say if I got a 10 and a 5, and I got one of these packages, that would be 10 points and a -5. So that would be 5 points right there, even though I have all minus. But this would count that -10 as a +10 and make it 10. Then -5, so that would be 5. So there's some situations you can get in where you kind of taking a chance at moving who you want to move, and then sometimes you'll hang around and try to get, you'll try to get this thing so you can get that one, and sometimes you want to try to get a high negative because you know you're going to end up getting one of these packages, and then at the end you might not even get a package. So it works out different every time you play it. It's a pretty fun game. Kids can play it, learn it, very easy to learn, and that's life.